Importance that the rising tide of police violence and brutality is taking in our communities and how important this issue is becoming to us. And frankly, it's like one of those things is I've been doing criminal justice reform work for around 30 years now. And I have to say, police brutality, the violence in our prisons and jails, mass incarceration, this is nothing new. It's been going on for a long time. One of the things that's happening, though, one of the things that's changing is the advent of social media, the fact that we've got cell phones with video cameras, and we aren't depending on the corporate media to be the gatekeepers of what the American public can see. We're also in a situation now where when people are gunned down by the police or beaten by the police, it's not just the police's word against a dead person who can't talk. And in some respects, this goes back to the Rodney King video. And when instead of the story of, oh, he was resisting arrest, so we had to beat the crap out of him, there's video footage showing otherwise. And now we're seen with a steady stream of videos almost every week, if not more frequently, on our videos on social media, showing more people being killed by the police and brutalized by the police. And this is independent of the corporate media, which is in large ways has abetted the rise of the American police state. One of the things we see is with the acquittal of the cop that killed Philando Castile is the ongoing lack of accountability that we have in this country. And it shouldn't be a surprise. The police, one of the old jokes is that a prosecutor is a cop in a suit and a judge is a prosecutor in a robe. And it's all part of the same system. So we shouldn't be surprised that prosecutors don't hold the police accountable when they murder our citizens, when they murder our people. And this isn't going to change until we start demanding more. And more of our prosecutors who, while elected, are pretty much unaccountable. In theory, the sheriffs, a lot of our law enforcement officials are in theory elected. In theory, they're accountable to the electorate. But this also goes to the lack of candidates. We don't have anyone campaigning on a platform of police accountability, of transparency, of being able to see what's actually going on in our American police state. And of all of our institutions, law enforcement are the least transparent. As we stand here right now, we don't know how many Americans are killed each year by the police. We have statistics on everything in this country. We know how many bushels of soybeans were harvested. The deaths of police is tracked with meticulous regularity. A cop chokes to death on a donut somewhere, that's recorded, and that's well known. But how many people are killed by the police? How many people die in jails? How many people die in our nation's prisons? We don't know that, and there's a reason we don't know that. And I think if people knew what the numbers were, how many people are being killed on a regular basis, and have been for years, not just now, not just last year, but for decades, I think we'd be rightly outraged over that. And but I think we're getting to the point now where I think we're reaching a tipping point where more and more Americans, more and more of us are getting to the point where we're sick and tired of the bloodshed. We're tired of the one-sided war of Americans, especially Americans of color, our black brothers and sisters, our Native Americans, our Hispanic brothers and sisters who are disproportionately killed on a routine basis by police. And one of the things, there was an artist, I forgot his name, I think it was Dred Scott. He did an artist display, and it was common household objects. It was called, "When do these objects look like a gun?" And there was a key ring, a TV remote control, a wallet. And the thing is, these were all objects that were held by black men before they were gunned down by the police. And this is a monotonous regularity. And then we've got the thing where we have women like Sandra Bland being pulled over by the police. 3 days later, she's dead. All too often, we're seeing an ongoing body count with no accountability, with no explanations of why people go into police custody and then they wind up dead. Then we have the slow motion death camps of our American prison system. We have 2.5 million people locked up. The United States has 5% of the world's population, but we have 25% of the world's population, of the world's prison population. And it's not that Americans are more criminal than anyone else, but conversely, we've also got the biggest police state. No other nation, no other country in world history has ever incarcerated this number, this percentage, or this raw number of its population. Not Nazi Germany, not Stalin's Russia. These are huge numbers. And this has happened pretty much over the last 30 years, with very little in the way of protest, very little in the way of dissent. And our mainstream political parties have largely abetted this. The United States has a bipartisan criminal justice policy. Everyone in an elected office in this country pretty much is down with the police state. And until we start challenging that, we're going to get the police state we deserve. So, thank you very much. Thank you for coming out.
Thank you.